Welcome back, YouTubers, to my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you follow me right now, I'm Aspie, and if you're new to my channel, I'm all about creating mental health and awareness versus sharing my life story with Asperger's syndrome versus all the other diagnoses that comes under the mask of these territory of Asperger's syndrome. Just to bear in mind also that not everyone is the same that has Asperger's syndrome, so that everyone that has Asperger's syndrome is different of these different, diagnoses, what might come into the territory, so to speak. And all for the do also, basically what I also do is some tips and advice along the way based on everyday personal struggles that you may go through, or just your personal health struggles, so that hopefully I can give you tips and advice based on my training, educational resources that I know of that should be of relevance to you to hopefully manage and treat your everyday symptoms that comes along that territory of those different diagnoses. I'm all about health and awareness, as I said, also basically, and I also in this day and age trying to do as many motivational videos as well to encourage and enlighten you, or to let you know that you're not alone of whatever you're struggling with in your personal situation, regardless what it may be. So without further ado, guys, basically at this point of time it has come to my attention that I need to do more about the Let's Talk series, and this one's all about the men's health, especially because, like I said so many times before, it needs to be addressed obviously, but more because obviously there hasn't been much exposure or awareness about men's health in this day and age. And some of the stuff that I'll be addressing to you all will be New Zealand based information of the statistics and whatever else that comes into play. So I'll let you know now of this disclaimer, just to let you know that I'm no medical doctor. I'm just a normal everyday Joe blogs that goes on doing what I can at this point of time, just to do what I can when I can to manage and cope with my everyday personal struggles with what I've shared with you all just at the very beginning of my Asperger's syndrome. What I may give out is tips and advice of managing it. May not work for everyone, but bear in mind that it may work for some people. It's just a matter of just give and take, giving each other support, and actually hopefully maybe trial out some of these tips and advice along the way, or management tools or coping strategies that I share with you all that may work for you, and that it's a matter of just also respecting each other regardless. Also, just a heads up though, also some of the tips and advice, like I said, may not be beneficial to you, but will be beneficial to someone else. So in order to do, guys, basically before I run out of time, this one's all about strokes, basically for the men's health sector. So let's begin this. The first question that many will ask is, what is a stroke, or how is stroke defined? This is defined as maybe it happens when blood flow to the brain is really restricted or stops altogether. Basically, this can happen when two major factors here is, number one, an artery that takes oxygen to the brain gets blocked. This is called an ischemic stroke, and the most common form of stroke around it is available. And then there's another one, which is number two, a blood vessel in the brain ruptures, which then this one is called as a hemorrhagic stroke. As a result, for any of these, the brain doesn't receive enough oxygen or nutrients, and the brain cell starts to die off. Some people will die as a result of the stroke, some will make a full recovery, and others will be left with permanent damage, affecting their speech, mobility, eyesight, or limbs. Strokes are largely preventable, however, and can be, treated in the right retrospect like any other ones that I've shared so far today, and that hopefully, earlier the better they seek the medical attention or advice from a professional, the better, so that you can be fully equipped and ready to go for whatever is to come, to know these signs and symptoms, which is next on the list. The signs and symptoms of strokes, just to bear in mind, before you have a stroke, you might be having a mini stroke episode in the days leading up to the full standout stroke. These are usually caused by temporary blood clots. The signs are the same as strokes, except they only last a short period of time. They're so quick too, from a few minutes to maybe a few hours. Many strokes don't cause permanent damage to the brain, however. Not everyone who has a mini stroke will have a stroke, but many will, and it's a sign there could be a problem with the blood supply to the brain, however. When you're having a stroke or mini stroke, you might experience all or some of these symptoms that I'm addressing to you. Number one, sudden numbness in the face, arm or leg, usually on one side of the body, be it the left or right. Number two, confusion. Number three, trouble speaking or understanding what is being said. Number three, trouble seeing or just straight out blurred vision. And number four, trouble walking, loss of balance and coordination. Who gets it? People who usually suffers from high blood pressure are the most likely biggest candidates or biggest cause for strokes. People who smoke or are overweight or do not exercise are at risk of having a stroke. Stroke risk can also be hereditary, however. If someone in your family has had a stroke, your risk increases. Number 4, 75% of strokes occur in people over 65. And this is a real alarming fact. More men have strokes than women, however. Getting tested. If you have high blood pressure or someone in your family that has had a stroke, you could be at risk. Talk to your doctor about it and see what they can do to help, manage it or lower the chance of you having the risk of the stroke. If you think you've had a mini stroke, then go to your doctor. Your doctor will ask about your symptoms, family history and lifestyle. They'll listen to your heart, take your blood pressure and send you for a blood test to check your cholesterol levels. You may be sent for a CT scan or ultrasound to look for any damages or blockages to the brain. Your doctor may also arrange for an ECG to monitor your heart rhythm and a chest x-ray to check your heart and blood flow. Treatment options. This will be depending on the cause and severity of your strokes, like many other different mental health conditions, basically, and the resulting of the conditions. You may need a combination of treatments. For example, you may need medication to thin your blood or prevent blood clots. Number 2, lifestyle changes to make keep your blood pressure under control. Number 3, surgery to reopen affected arteries. A stent may be inserted to hold the artery open and improve blood flow. And number 4, rehabilitation with a team of health professionals to help regain speech, coordination and mobility. Okay, basically, the signs again also basically, as I said, if you learn to recognise the signs and symptoms of a stroke, it will save the life of anyone's, be it a male or female. It could be yours or someone else's. So basically, you could do what they've introduced in New Zealand, the FAST check, which is FAST, FAST, which F stands for face dripping on one side, is to look for weakness on one side, S is their speech, obviously jumbled, slurred or lost, and T, time to call. Also, I'm going to link in the description, obviously like for many others right now, to actually put in the description of some organisations to help you guys if you really need it, or if some other bits that will give you some resources pack of what needs to be dealt with regardless of these topics I'm addressing. Give me a like for thumbs up for support, basically, because this is the end of it. Feel free to comment below if you feel to share your story about any of these everyday topics I'm sharing and how you manage to cope with it every day, and hopefully that maybe we can be able to be a support liquid and open up this for discussion, and hopefully that many people will take heed and actually maybe be aware of it. Feel free to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, AspieAnswersAll. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Feel free to share these videos around to family and friends or whoever it may be, so that we can learn from each other regardless what it is. So hopefully you've learned something today by me educating you all, and based on what I know of and whatnot. Feel free to also basically just do what you can to spread the awareness around, because as I said, hopefully maybe for the sake of men's health especially, even though they do have certain bits of time of year to celebrate men's health, that we can do something about it, but more to open up more awareness and understanding. So without further ado, thanks for your support, thanks for watching, do what you love, like we do. Until next time, Aspie signing out, have a great day.